Enoch Powell was right. Do you know that on the streets of England, as a white person, you could be knifed by a black person who's calling himself a bad man? You can be knifed by such a man, and when the police arrive, they will not arrest that black man. They will arrest you as you drown in your own blood, as your lungs fill up with the blood from a stab wound, from a black man, from a mad black man. As your lungs fill up with blood and you're drowning in your own blood, the police will come and arrest you. They will come and arrest you and only call the ambulance when they realize that you're dying from drowning in your own blood. This is what happened to a student in Southampton. First year student in Southampton. Random attack by a mad black man. And that student died. 20-year-old. You wonder why I'm not mentioning his name. What does it matter? He's not like George Floyd, is he? We're not going to make a saint out of him, are we? Because he's a white person, so he's nameless. It doesn't matter. The main thing is he's white, and it doesn't matter what his name is. The only thing that matters is he's white. And because he's white, it doesn't matter. This is a trial that's ongoing. And if the roles had been reversed, you wouldn't have heard the end of this. You would not have heard the end of this. You wouldn't have heard the end of this from the BBC. I actually read this article on the BBC. And it's shocking to hear the allegations that the prosecution is putting forward based on the evidence. Because this white victim actually recorded the moments preceding his death, where he was uploading TikTok videos or Snapchat, I can't remember. And he got accosted by this mad black man who actually said on his camera while it was being recorded, "Yes, I'm a mad black man." And he proceeded to stab this white man this white student, as he tried to escape, actually clambered over a fence trying to escape. But the mad black man had other ideas. And we haven't heard a single thing about this report, about this incident, not from the BBC, not from the Church of England. No one has repented of black supremacy, black privilege. No one has repented, not the Prime Minister. You haven't seen the Prime Minister taking a bow, taking the knee for the sake of the student. Have you? You haven't seen the establishment. You haven't seen football players suddenly wearing white armbands to commemorate this young man who died at the hands of a black man. Enoch Powell was right. And there may not be literal blood in the streets. There may not be literal rivers of blood in the streets. But this young man actually drowned in a river of his own blood. He actually drowned in a river of his own blood. Enoch Powell, if you don't know, was a conservative politician from Birmingham. I wonder what he would think of what Birmingham is right now. But in the early 70s, he spoke of the dangers of mass migration. Enoch Powell, as far as I know, was not against migration. It was just against mass migration. He was against the erosion of British culture through things like the Race Relations Act. That was ridiculous. Do you know that in the 60s, this country set up a race relations board so that white people could not be racist? This has been going on for a long time. This has been going on for a long time. The erosion of this culture has been going on for a long time, mainly at the hands of Labour. There was a race relations board set up in the 60s, which was a ridiculous organization, And I remember reading Punch magazines from the 80s where, it was like an annual Punch where they would look at the highlights of the year. It's kind of like what Private Eye does with their annual. There used to be a Punch annual. I used to love Punch magazine. I don't know why it went out of business. But they did annuals, and I read most of the annuals from the early 70s to the 80s, and they used to mercilessly mock the Race Relations Board. It was like, oh, Are you being racist? Are you? I might report you to the Race Relations Board. But this has been in motion for a long time because of labor. Because of labor. So you have the Race Relations Board, where you could be reported for not being accommodating of other races. And Enoch Powell foresaw the trouble ahead. He was a prophet. He was a prophet. He saw the danger. And I cannot imagine what he would think of Birmingham as it is today, because he was from Birmingham. I cannot think what Enoch Powell would think of Birmingham as it is today. But he saw that this danger of mass migration, where people come into this country en masse, and do not acclimate or integrate into the society. And you can't if you're coming en masse. If you're coming en masse, you just set up separate communities, separate ghettos. And this is exactly what has happened to Enoch Powell's city, Birmingham. And I say all this to say that it's time that Enoch Powell was lauded as the hero that he is. He is the hero that Britain does not want but need. He spoke the truth. He told it as it is. Britons should be proud of their country, their culture, and they should not apologize for being British. Look at what's happened to Birmingham. It's unrecognizable. It's unrecognizable. It's changed in less than 50 years from Enoch Powell's time to what it is today, where it's diverse, if you want, except it seems to be one culture, dark and Mohammedan. But hey, diversity, whatever. And it stinks. And it's full of rats. That's what Enoch Powell was talking about. And worse. And worse. Because now you have to be careful as a white person. It's not even in Birmingham. It's in Southampton. If you're in Southampton, you could be accosted by a mad black man, get stabbed and bleed, drown in your own blood. Not rivers of blood, literally. Enoch Powell was a hero. And I'm sad that he was treated badly by the Conservative Party, because it's from the playbook that is now used daily today. If you disagree with someone, just call him a racist. Enoch Powell was not a racist. He was not a racist. Was not a racist at all. He just loved his country. But the only way to shut him up was to say, he's a racist. And what can you do when you are smeared like that? Even though you love your country, even though you have no animosity to black people, brown people, you just love your own people. The smear, not by Labour, mind you, it was by the Conservatives. The Conservatives were embarrassed by what Enoch Powell said in his Rivers of Blood speech. They were so embarrassed, and he was ostracized by his own party. And this is where we've ended up with the Conservative Party as it is today. Fearful to stand for the truth. Fearful to stand for the truth that is so apparent. Clear as day. Clear as day that mass migration will destroy a country. And the Conservatives did him bad. They did him bad. Enoch Powell was a hero, and we need more Enoch Powells today. We need people that just speak the plain truth and say Mohammedanism is evil. Sleeping with girls is evil. Doing the same with goats is evil. It's not British. It's not English. And we want nothing of that here. And even if you were a decent fella, you are not guaranteed entry into this country. Just because you're a decent fella does not mean you can come into this country. I know I say this as an immigrant, and when I came to this country, if Enoch Powell said, sorry fella, you can't come in, we don't need you, I'd have been, fair cop, brother, I'll go back to Zambia, to Zimbabwe. It's not a right. No one has a right to this country. It's not like just because you know British history, you can come to this country. Great Britain has the right to control who comes in, who comes out, who comes in. That is not racist. That is not racist. That's just love of your own people. That's just love of your own people. Do you know that you can't just take up Israeli citizenship? Do you know that you can't just take up Pakistani citizenship? Do you know right now, even if you're born in Dubai, if you are not, if your parents are not from Dubai, they'll say, sorry fella, there's no such thing as birthright citizenship. Out, out, get out. Every country has the right to control its borders. That is not racism. That is love of country. If controlling your borders is racist, call me a racist. Call me a racist. If controlling your borders makes Enoch Powell a racist, then so be it. But Enoch Powell is a hero. Enoch Powell is a racist hero.